Over its first 3.5 years in market, the only constant at ZOA Energy seems to be change. Depending on your biases involving change in the wide variety of contexts it can describe in business, you might assume this content will be negative or maybe positive, but I'm going to make you sweat that assumption out more than Dwayne The Rock Johnson during one of his famous Iron Paradise gym workouts. But let's shift away from workout motivation and focus instead on Dwayne, the beverage entrepreneur Johnson. Specifically, I want to concentrate on the energy drink brand that he co founded, ZOA Energy, that launched in March of 2021. And maybe the best place to start is resharing some of my forward looking thoughts on ZOA Energy that I stated within a content piece that was created a month before the energy drink brand even launched.
The ZOA Energy product, at least what has been announced, they said they're going to be leaning into immunity boosting ingredients. There's going to be no preservatives, no artificial ingredients by any stretch of the imagination. And they said that this has been in development for over 18 months. So I have high hopes that in 18 months they were able to crack the code on this flavoring, the flavor system, a part of ZOA Energy, because just on paper, I have a little bit of hesitation in terms of how this is going to taste. So hopefully over 18 months, they've been able to just get over the hump and make this product great, not great for a clean energy product. If they really want to be a disruptor in the category, they're going to need to be great comparable to the general energy drink incumbents, not the other clean energy emerging brands that are trying to build out this new subcategory. In terms of the sales strategy, physical retail, the exclusive distributor is going to be Molson Coors, and they're also going to leverage Molson Coors' expertise in marketing support. I also believe LA Libations is involved with this as well. So they're going to have a ton of help and a ton of capable people that are going to be able to provide value. So what's next for ZOA Energy? The leadership team at ZOA Energy has mentioned that this is just the first product in terms of the brand. There are going to be a ton of other kind of health focused products that will hit the market. This kind of aligns with what I was talking about in my 2021 predictions for the sports nutrition industry, where I talked about The Rock was going to put his name, be it through partnership or through one of his own brands, on a line of kind of supplements. This was just a hunch that I had. I thought that the ZOA Energy product, or at least the energy product that they have been mentioning for the last year, I thought, hey, this is just going to be the first of many kind of supplements. I'm not necessarily going to put my neck on the line and say The Rock's new energy beverage, ZOA Energy, is going to become this true disruptor that they constantly are mentioning in their press releases and just some of their early kind of communication strategy. But I do believe The Rock has proven that his distribution muscle, his ability to get his message out for beverage products, has done very well so far. So I wouldn't be surprised if this product does do extremely well. But a lot of that comes down to distribution systems, and if you have master national distribution, and ZOA Energy has that right off the bat with Molson Coors. So then it circles back to those comments I had before, and really around, if this product is going to be successful, it's going to need to taste good. Regardless if this is a clean energy product, any type of functional beverage, doesn't matter. Beverages overall are still taste forward, even if this is a functional beverage. So this product is going to need to taste great. Needs to match up to the incumbents, especially with The Rock's personal brand and the way that he's going to distribute out this brand. You're going to have a lot of mainstream consumers, a lot of people that were drinking Monsters, Red Bulls, Rockstars, Bangs, that are going to try this product. And if they're going to go in and think this is going to taste like a artificially sweetened, artificially flavored beverage, they're going to come away disappointed, unless they've come up over those 18 months with a way to make this all natural, functional energy beverage taste amazing.
So let's reconcile some of my original thoughts. Firstly, the press release and general PR before the launch stated things like ZOA is a clean, natural, and healthy drink. Or we see a void in the energy space for a health focused brand. Interpreting that information, my assumption was that ZOA Energy would be an all natural energy drink, but that was only true of its full sugar variants. Though that brings up a whole different discussion around if 23 grams of sugar per serving could even be considered healthy. But then the zero sugar variants utilize artificial sweeteners, which is fairly common within either the performance or wellness sides of the Energy Plus subcategory. And everyone knows I'm hardly the natural sweeteners are when it comes to subcategory definition nuance. So I'm mostly providing context that helps me make a point around taste. Whether ZOA Energy was naturally or artificially sweetened, success was still going to come down to it tasting great. And within supposedly 18 months of product development and not needing to overcome the stevia aftertaste, you'd think they could have nailed it, but that didn't seem to be the case. Yes, taste can be subjective, but your main parameter for approval should be that it's objectively great within the entire category, as that will allow it to overcome any subjectivity variance. Yet, less than 2 years after launching, ZOA Energy decided to make product enhancements, freshen up the flavor system, and tweak the packaging format. But before I explain further what else drastically changed, let's reconcile another product strategy point from my earlier content. While the Active Nutrition line extension prediction would end up becoming true much later, it first manifested itself in the form of a subline of energy drinks called ZOA Plus that explicitly stated on the packaging that it was a pre workout energy supplement. And these RTD pre workout energy beverages somehow didn't get SKU rationalized despite not being particularly strong velocity wise or having impressive total distribution points, when ZOA Energy made a slew of big changes in January of 2023. Commenting on those strategic changes, a ZOA Energy co founder stated they were listening to their consumer by offering continuous innovation, with another ZOA Energy co founder saying it is of utmost importance that our formulas be highly functional and delicious. Now, I have no qualms about those statements, as yes, the beverage market is constantly changing, and brands need to adapt to these changes to remain relevant and successful. But change can refer to three very different strategic responses to business challenges. It can involve magnitude, activity, or direction. And selecting the right form or sequence of forms is paramount. ZOA Energy correctly avoided, for the most part, making a strategic direction change, as beverages offering more than enjoyment aren't just a passing fad, instead a reflection of a deeper secular trend towards health-conscious consumption. In fact, many consumers continue to move closer towards this four-way intersection of taste, convenience, nutrition, and functionality. And because of that, there has been this remarkable transformation happening within seemingly every multi-billion dollar beverage category, especially energy drinks. The last probably decade or so, there has been this flywheel effect of categorical demand growth feeding product innovation. To compete for consumer attention, different wellness focused marketing strategies and functional ingredients have been utilized by this massive brand proliferation. Yet, this fragmentation arguably increased discoverability, giving the energy drinks market this almost like sixth sense ability to evolve and appeal to a wide range of active lifestyle consumers with varied energy needs throughout the day. With those foundational insights, ZOA Energy accurately decided to prioritize a change in strategic activity, which basically means adopting new ways of pursuing the current path. And this brings us back to the last of the comprehensive set of changes that ZOA Energy made in January 2023. Beyond the liquid inside of the can, ZOA Energy drastically shifted its visual identity, losing the mostly black packaging design for a more vibrant color block by flavor look. Moreover, the ZOA brand name was enlarged and the imagery was oriented vertically. The SKU name had also been shifted from the bottom to the top of the can, while Healthy Warrior had been trimmed off the energy drink callout, and the circular tribal style logo has been integrated into the brand name. Some of those packaging adjustments were starkly different from an outward perspective, but they also created equally impactful shifts to the overall brand strategy. Because if you remember, ZOA is supposedly a play on the Polynesian word for warrior, which is Toa, with the letters A and Z representing an inclusive consumer base. So basically meaning the product is for everyday warriors, regardless of age, gender, where you come from, culture, religion, or what you do for a living. That original brand strategy and associated can design felt very much like Dwayne The Rock Johnson was extremely involved in ensuring it properly articulated and aestheticized his defining personality traits. The new colorful, softened visual identity is, I think everyone would admit, much more appealing to the eye, but it changed from this energy drink extension of Dwayne The Rock Johnson to a beverage that could stand on its own in hopes that it could reach new consumers as ZOA Energy continued expanding into additional markets and territories. And I'll come back to the implications around that decision at the end of this content. But to help bridge the gap from its warrior past, ZOA Energy launched the Fuel Something Bigger campaign as well in January 2023. That was aspirational, but again, in a softer choice of marketing copy. But then the question likely shifts to why did ZOA Energy make all of these changes anyways? The simple answer is expectations. Firstly, you have arguably one of the biggest global celebrities behind the company that seemed authentically motivated and within a product category that seemed aligned with him. Next, you had a US energy drinks market that was on fire, especially within the categorical fragmentation of Energy Plus. Finally, you had a day one strategic partnership and investment by Molson Coors that provided national sales, field marketing, and distribution resources. This is a recipe for not only just success, but outsized success. So, despite the relatively strong start, reaching, according to Nielsen IQ data, dollar sales of over $40 million during the 2022 calendar year, the brand was underperforming key competitors that launched within an 8-month period of ZOA Energy. While Alani Nu offered energy drinks in GNC exclusively prior to its July 2020 Kroger launch, that was basically the start of its actual mainstream categorical sales. And then a few months after that, Ghost soft launched its energy drinks with the help of AB InBev. But going back to those 2022 calendar year retail sales numbers, Alani Nu had over $315 million in sales already, and Ghost reached just shy of $200 million. If you were at the Beverage Forum 2024, you would have heard Molson Coors president and CEO Gavin Hattersley admit ZOA Energy made several strategic missteps out the gate, which align with my previous product comments. But he also stressed that it broke the golden rule of brand building by scaling too quickly. But I'll be honest and say that last point kind of confused me, specifically because ZOA Energy and Molson Coors had touted it was the fastest growing energy drink brand and made other, let's just say, interesting retail sales data claims that made it seem to the generally ignorant consumer marketplace like they would be taking down the mighty Red Bull any day now. Instead, ZOA Energy saw its retail sales fall around 37% year over year in 2023. And while current last 52-week syndicated data shows growth again, it's not enough to offset last year's losses. Alternatively, both Alani Nu and Ghost have been rocket ships and now both passed the $600 million mark in retail sales over the most recent 52-week period. But that competitive gap hasn't shaken the faith of Molson Coors as they increased their investment in ZOA Energy in September of 2023, with the new money being earmarked for a doubling of marketing spend in 2024. The best example of this marketing spend can be seen through the big Dwayne Energy campaign that stars, obviously, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, but aimed to showcase the ZOA Energy product features in a humorous way. And before I get into broader strategic thoughts on this marketing approach, leveraging Dwayne The Rock Johnson, let's first examine a bit more around why Molson Coors expanded its partnership with ZOA Energy despite the so-so results since the brand reset. Shortly after naming Gavin Hattersley CEO in 2019, Molson Coors announced its revitalization plan that included a Beyond Beer strategic pillar, which sought to overhaul its portfolio and expand beyond its beer roots through acquisitions and new product launches in other beverage categories. Following declining beer sales over the past decade as other categories took market share, the Beyond Beer shift to becoming a total beverage company had the goal to meet drinkers at different occasions. Today, the Molson Coors Beyond Beer portfolio ranges from flavored alcohol beverages to spirits and even some smaller non-alcoholic brands. But after losing La Colombe Coffee Roasters to a strategic partnership with KDP, ZOA Energy became really the only sizable non-alcoholic, let alone health and wellness position brand within the Molson Coors portfolio. And I actually think that's problematic. I've said previously in public comments through BevNet that I believe Molson Coors would benefit from diversifying its non-alcoholic beverage portfolio beyond ZOA Energy. And I think recent leadership comments on Molson Coors earnings calls have supported my thinking. As Gavin Hattersley has said, the company needs to have more than just ZOA in the non alcoholic space. Where Gavin and I differ, though, is that he believes it could certainly come from internal development as opposed to deal making. And I think M&A signals to the entire organization that non-alcoholic beverages are of major strategic importance to Molson Coors going forward. Now, I know that his comments likely meant that the brand incubator, LA Libations, which Molson Coors invested in 5 years ago, would be tasked to help with that internal development. But I'd still like to see a sizable deal made in a category like protein or hydration. Yet, right now, everything is riding on the Molson Coors C suite being right, that ZOA can still unlock its potential and become the next big energy drink brand. And that means, regardless of all those brand strategy actions to distance themselves from their star co founder, almost everything is still riding on Dwayne The Rock Johnson. So let's finally talk about those implications, good and bad, around that decision. And we will start with this catch-22 situation around the talent-led brand movement that few people mention. Many ill-informed pundits think that having an uber popular celebrity co-founder solves every challenge in competitive CPG spaces and almost guarantees success. But what is the definition of success for celebrity packaged goods brands? Mr. Beast doesn't want to sell chocolate bars forever. Logan Paul doesn't want to sell flavored electrolyte waters forever. And Dwayne The Rock Johnson doesn't want to sell energy drinks forever, right? It takes transitioning away from the talent. And that's easier said than done, with the proof being currently the lack of successful acquisitions by strategic buyers in CPG categories outside of alcohol, which is mostly spirits from those acquisitions. So ZOA Energy has rightfully understood there must be a transition strategy, but I'm not sure they had the right timing around putting that plan into action. Yes, it likely was accelerated because of the Molson Coors investment aspect, but I'd argue ZOA Energy didn't leverage Dwayne The Rock Johnson enough yet to pull forward brand awareness and generate sales. Because remember, we are talking about one of the biggest celebrities that has shown an ability to hold consumer attention, which ultimately provides an opportunity to become one of the most sought after assets in the world and potentially the biggest CPG brands of tomorrow. So, why can, as an example, a brand like Ghost Lifestyle sell 20 times more energy drinks in a 12-month period than ZOA Energy with an entire roster of influencers that cumulatively doesn't have a fraction of the celebrity power of Dwayne The Rock Johnson? In today's ultra competitive US energy drinks market, brand authenticity matters a lot. And that's because energy drinks are marketed as a lifestyle beverage that offers the functional benefit of energy. To go one step further, energy drinks have become status symbols or basically aspirational mixtures representing flavor taste, lifestyle taste, and identity by association. But wouldn't that help an energy drink with Dwayne The Rock Johnson weaved into the brand DNA? Yes, but only if firstly, ZOA Energy still felt like an authentic energy drink extension of him, properly articulated and aestheticized with his defining personality traits. And secondly, but more importantly, the public still felt like they even knew who the authentic Dwayne The Rock Johnson was anymore. For many years, I've mentioned that extremely industrious celebrities like Dwayne The Rock Johnson or Kevin Hart had become walking, talking billboards, causing their audiences to question what's PR driven bullshit rather than something coming from the heart of a human. That's why when I found out that Dwayne the Ad Johnson was trending, it really connected the dots for me on why I believe ZOA Energy has continued to struggle even with a much improved product now. While the look, feel, tone of ZOA Energy changing in the first few years was maybe a good decision in a vacuum, it, along with the big Dwayne Energy marketing campaign, exacerbated this feeling with consumers that the brand felt more like just another diverse set of movie roles for the actor Dwayne The Rock Johnson. So, for this energy drink brand to really have a chance at meaningful success, aka top 10 US energy drinks market share status, ZOA can't just be another ad for its superstar co founder, or it's destined to continuing going ZOAwhere. But I hope you enjoyed this YouTube video. If you did, consider hitting that like button to support me. Also help me get to my new short-term goal of 4,000 subscribers by hitting that subscribe button. I'd love to see you join me on this journey, but we need to fix the fact that slightly more than 90% of you that are watching this YouTube video right now are not subscribed to my channel, and that makes me extremely sad. But I do want to thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one.